I've just had a mammogram. I don't mean backstage. It was a Will Anderson, but handsy. If you've never had a mammogram, this is what it's like. It's like you were running for a lift and not all of you made it in. And then for some reason, while you were running for that lift, you got hot and took your top off. It's not my favourite of the grams. You know, it's not as fun as a singing telegram or a stripogram or even just a gram. But I had to get one because I found a couple of lumps in my breast. Spoiler alert, I'm fine, just in case you're going, oh, was this her last gig? The woman that gave me the mammogram was lovely. She tried to make me feel at ease. She goes, just uncover one breast at a time. And I was like, really? What's the point? Like, they're both the same. It's not going to be that one of them's a surprise. It's not going to be, oh, that's normal. Sandcastle. And then after I had the mammogram, I had to have an ultrasound on my breast. And if you've never had an ultrasound on your breast, this is what it's like. You climb into a giant paper serviette, and then a nice young man called Sam irons hair gel into your boobs using a detachable shower head. And afterwards, he told me I could get back into my serviette. He didn't use the term serviette, he called it a gown, which I thought was lovely because it made it sound like we'd had a quickie at a ball. Though, when I put the gown back on, I still had the gel all over me, and so I just had this top that was now stuck to my front. Like it just felt all sort of warm and sticky, and I was like, oh, I just feel like a dirty teenager on the way home from a party. I don't know, maybe you had different teenage years from me. I don't know. I'm making that up. I totally didn't do that as a teenager. I was well into my mid-30s. But the weirdest part of the whole thing was waiting for the results outside the breast surgeon's office, and I'm sitting there in the waiting room and I started to feel kind of vulnerable and emotional, and I was thinking about my mum and my grandmother and my aunt who've all survived breast cancer, and I was thinking about the journeys of all the other people in the waiting room, like whether they were about to get good news or bad news. And there was this old couple up by the desk, and the receptionist was talking to the woman, and she was saying, well, that is wonderful news. That means we don't have to see you for another 12 months. And her husband was obviously trying to make a joke to lighten the mood, and he goes, oh, we just had to drive 6 hours for a 5-minute appointment to be told that we don't have to come back. And the receptionist just nails him with his look and goes, yes, well, I think that's quite a good outcome, don't you? And he goes, oh, yeah, no, you're right. He just freaked out. And then he just kept making eye contact with me, and I didn't know what was going on. And eventually he comes over, and I'm like, don't cry. He comes over and he goes, this is probably a really inappropriate time, but I just wanted to say I enjoy your comedy. And I was like, it is a fucking inappropriate time. But you've just found out you get to keep your wife. So you win this round, sir. You win. It's always lovely to get compliments on what you do. Sometimes it turns out weird. I was in the supermarket with my son the other day. He's 7. He's very forthright. A woman came up to me at the checkout and went, I just wanted to say I enjoy you as a comedian. And I went, well, that is really lovely. Thank you so much. She goes away. My son goes, did you know her? And I went, no, she was just saying that she enjoys me as a comedian. And he goes, oh, but she doesn't like you as a shopper. I mean, that is not the way I took it, but sure, that's how you choose to interpret it. That is fine. You have been a delightful audience. I'll see you later. Good night.